10 easy tricks to impress girls with Prajakta Kohli from Mostly Sane. Welcome to Beer Biceps, Prajakta.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
If you've been watching Beer Biceps for a while, the idea I promote is that any life skill can be broken down into a series of points. So let's get started with our 10 points on how to impress girls, especially in a conversation, how to set up a great first impression and leave the girl you're trying to impress thinking about you, but just through your personality. Starting with point number 1, the most important thing for any guy, you have to be comfortable in your own skin.
Yep. I think that's very, very important. And you know, the thing is that you can always sense a guy who's not comfortable.
Yeah.
Because he'll be very fidgety and he'll be
All
very
over
sort
the
of,
place.
He'll be like, he'll be trying to fit in. You can always, not just a guy actually, even if it's a girl, you can always find out if a person is uncomfortable.
Yeah. And the thing about being uncomfortable is that it spreads to the whole group and it spreads to the person you're talking to.
Yeah.
And the way human beings are built, you want to be comfortable in a situation. When you're talking to someone, you want to be having fun. You don't want to be in this, okay, why is he awkward? That's making me awkward.
Yeah, so like, especially like if it's a first date or something like that and you want to turn up and make an impression, make sure you're very chilled. Although you'll be like crying buckets from inside because you're like really nervous, but then if you're chill, the girl's gonna she's gonna be chill too.
Yeah, especially if it's a first date and you're meeting someone for the first time, even they're as nervous as you.
Yeah.
So if you show a little bit of comfort, that'll kind of bring their comfort levels up as well.
And also I think it's like really turning on if a guy walks in to a restaurant and he's like calm.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
He's calm and he comes and he sits and he does when he introduces everything when you're real, it just makes the girl very, very happy.
Yeah. But I feel like comfort comes from confidence. And that's point number 2. Again, very important. We talk about this a lot. Not just from the perspective of impressing a girl, but just generally, something like confidence can do a lot for your own internal happiness.
Yeah. And also, you know, when you're confident, I think it's very interrelated, as you said. Once you're confident, you're gonna be very, very comfortable. Also, confidence does not come from like snazzy, expensive clothes and really expensive whatever else you guys do. I don't even know.
The men's essentials
essentials, you know, all of that does not even matter. You know, a girl knows you're confident when you in a high, you know, like if I come up to you and you're like, hello, nice to meet you. She's gonna know you're not comfortable. If you come like, hi, I'm Ranveer, she'll be like, hello Ranveer, marry me.
A lot of that is just self-perception. I feel like people look at you the way you look at yourself. So the number one rule when it comes to confidence is just be comfortable in your own skin and go into any situation without any kind of hesitation
or apprehension.
Yeah. I mean, you might be thinking that shit, are these people judging my clothes? Are they judging my body? But that's not really happening. All those are things that your brain is telling yourself.
Yeah.
So it's about getting past that.
Yeah, and even if that is happening, if she's judging you for your clothes, then she's not worth the effort.
Exactly. Which brings us to point number 3. In this whole game of trying to be confident and trying to be out there, a lot of guys might end up being a little bit dishonest, lying.
Little bit? I think it's much more than little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Have you had any experiences like this?
A lot. I've had so many experiences where guys they're just in your face with, so no, I was just, there's no parking outside for my Mercedes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So my dad has a yacht. And I'm like, okay, nice. So if you think, first of all, ye wali feeling sab mein hoti hai. Everyone thinks that all girls are gold diggers.
Yeah.
Which is not true. I'm not saying none of them are, but all of them are not true. Trust me, you cannot impress every girl with your money and your cars and your fake accent. Like, yeah, bro, I was in Australia. Yeah, fine, alright, good for you. So I think again, girls can always sense when you're fake. When you walk, even if your walk is fake, so many times I've seen guys like do like hair things and just like walking all macho. They'll know when it's fake.
Yeah. I think a lot of guys struggle to make conversation, and their conversation fillers are these lies or these show-off elements. Which again brings us to point number 4, which is the ability to just hold a comfortable conversation.
Yeah. This means so much. You won't believe how many times I've had a conversation with guys where they keep telling me about them.
Yeah.
And you know, so many times I'm like, oh, so you've been to the States. Oh, I've never been. You know what? No, so listen. And then they'll tell me more about them. Like, why don't you like listen to them? So they love it when you listen. So I'm not saying you just like sit like that and wait for them to finish like 12 stories. But like,
That's something girls look for in guys.
Yeah,
being a
like
good listener.
Like for me, I love speaking.
Yeah.
So if I was in a space where the guy does not let me speak, I'm gonna be like, bye bye.
In that whole thing about, I need to keep this conversation active, I need to keep this conversation active, guys lose out on that ability to listen.
And you know what? Before you go, a little homework won't be bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just for the girls, not just for the guys, actually, also for the girls. Like, if you're going to meet someone new for the first time and it's a date and stuff like that, it won't hurt you to just like go through her Instagram maybe, or check her, like, not stalk, but like check her Facebook and just be like, you know what, if you sort of run, so this is what I do a lot of times. If I run out of conversations, I'm like, you know what, I was just going through Instagram the other day, so is that picture from like Croatia? Have you been there? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, how is it? So you can pick things up from stuff you already know. So like, know a little bit about that person. If they like reading, if you like reading, ask them what book they would suggest and stuff like that.
Conversation, it's about two things. One, if the person you're talking to is talking about something, and if you want to carry it forward, ask them questions specifically about what they're talking about. And the second thing is, if they ask you something, don't be that person who just answers in one word or keeps it short and awkward because you're actually feeling awkward.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. Like monosyllable answer. Oh my gosh. So how was your day? Nice.
Yeah. Then what does that person say?
Just listen to what the girl says, because the girl says a lot of things you can ask her back.
Exactly.
Like, what were you doing yesterday? I was shopping. Okay. If you ask her, oh, you like shopping? What all did you get?
Yeah.
Oh, what's your favorite color? Blah blah blah. There's so many things.
Yeah. Okay, so moving away from just the communication skills and these social skills, let's talk about something like cleanliness.
Oh boy, please.
Yes, a lot of guys care about grooming. Yes, a lot of guys care about fashion. But cleanliness, just as a factor in your dressing sense, as well as your verbal skills, is one huge factor. That's what I feel.
Like, girls, frankly, most girls, like, I know, I'll speak about me, I would not care if the t-shirt the guy is wearing is branded, or if it's in Vogue, or if it's, you know, I wouldn't care as long as it's clean, you know. You walk to a person and what's the first thing you do? You hug that person, and you don't want to be a stink bomb. You really don't want to be a stink bomb.
Definitely give priority to cleanliness when it comes to grooming.
Yeah.
But also, very importantly, don't be that guy who doesn't have a clean speech. Now, what do I mean by this? See, all of us cuss. We're all in our 20s, maybe late teens.
What 20s? My 9-year-old cousin also, I've heard.
Exactly.
Cussing.
So, see, cussing is like a very normal thing. But there's a fine line between cussing for fun and then overdoing it. Don't be that person who uses a fuck or a in like every sentence.
Yeah, like it's okay for like after a few beers maybe.
Yeah, 100%.
Before that it's a little too much. Like you'll sort of like push the girl away.
Think of it from a girl's perspective. She's talking to you and you're constantly cussing like with every sentence. That shows some level of anger. And anger is one of those emotions that people aren't attracted to immediately.
True.
And I feel the primary reason people cuss is to be funny, to make the other person laugh. Which is point number 6.
Sense of humor.
100%.
You know what? Let's break some things down. Sense of humor is not cracking jokes. It's also taking jokes. Like if someone's joking around with you, you should be chilled enough to take that joke. Always cracking. You know, a humorous person is not someone who always cracks jokes. Like, hey suna suna, ek baar hathi ne cheated. That's not what we can do. You know, if someone is cracking a joke, you be open to like taking it. I think that's a huge turn off if you don't have a sense of humor.
Yeah, just so people are repelled by anger, people are attracted to happiness. So if you're that person who cracks jokes, first of all, you're spreading happiness. Secondly, if the joke's on you, laugh. Quick tip, and I think you'll agree with me on this, always be that person who goes into any room with a smile on their face.
Oh yeah.
Even if the joke is on you, maintain your smile.
Yeah.
It does a lot for your game.
Yeah, true.
For sure?
Yep.
Speaking about smiling and bringing brightness into rooms, very important point. Point number 7 is optimism. The single most repelling thing you can have as a guy when it comes to impressing girls is this constant habit of saying bad and negative things.
Just saying no.
Yeah. One of the ground rules I follow personally is that if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah, but again, that's subjective. Like, you wouldn't want to be a silent spectator when you know something's going wrong.
Yeah. Stand up for something that's not correct.
Yeah.
But again, if don't be that person who goes into every conversation just dissing things. Hey, I don't like that.
So don't be an internet troll.
Yeah. Ooh.
Basically. Don't be that person.
And speaking about constantly coming off as negative, I've seen this a lot with younger guys where they'll diss a lot of things. They'll just be like, yeah, I don't like this. Oh my god, that's so stupid. Because they want to come off as mature, which is the next point, maturity. One of the ways to impress girls. So there's this theory that Prajakta spoke about, and this is something I've read as well, where she said that a lot of girls are attracted to older guys, and that's for a reason. It's primarily because when guys and girls are growing up, girls mature, especially mentally, they mature way faster than guys.
Yeah.
So a 13-year-old girl is way more mature than a 13-year-old guy. And this goes on forever.
Forever.
Yeah. So if you are someone who's 21 and you're trying to impress another 21-year-old girl, one of those tricks is to just slightly kind of break out of the crowd. Most of the guys around you are still boys. Try to be that man. Now, I'm gonna let Prajakta explain what exactly that meant.
So, here's this thing, okay? Maturity is not reading a lot of books, although you get a lot of maturity from that. But it's not necessarily, oh, okay, Prajakta said be mature, I'm going to read books, I'm going to type how to be mature on Google. It's really not like that. I think for me, maturity from a guy is more open-mindedness. Be open to things, you know, be open to opinions. Keep your trust your trust radar a little wider. Like try to understand things better. Basically knowledge of a few things, and keeping your mind open to what's around you, you know, current
100%.
affairs, stuff like that. It
100%.
helps you sort of have a perception of life.
Yeah. And speaking about maturity, another crucial element of growing up is possessiveness. This concept of possessiveness.
Oh, God alone knows how many relationships have
been ruined because of that? Yeah, for sure.
I think it's such a put off when you're with a guy who owns you like his property, who does not let you have any space, who does not let you explore options, meet new people. It's so toxic in a relationship.
100%.
I think. So you can't grow as people, no?
Because once again, it shows some level of insecurity.
Yeah.
That's what I feel
So
like.
then there is trust issues, and I think after a point, possessiveness just reflects that you're not happy with yourself as a person.
100%.
You know?
Yeah, and that's the number one rule with impressing any human being.
Anyone.
If you want to leave a good impression, be remembered as that person who's just chilled, who's cool with himself.
Yeah.
So something like insecurity, being possessive,
Yeah.
it just goes way in the other direction.
Yeah, and it like nothing good ever came out of you telling your girlfriend not to talk to that one guy.
Yeah,
you know,
for
nothing
sure.
good. Like if you think she's that desirable and she has a zillion options and she still decides to be with you, make it her while. You know.
And finally, coming to the 10th and final point, but definitely the most important,
yes.
the base of impressing any lady is that you respect the lady. That's what you need to understand.
Or have manners in general.
Yeah. It's all a part of respect. I feel like this whole concept of etiquette and being well-mannered comes from a place where you show respect.
Yeah.
Now, what I feel is that a lot of guys, a lot of times they objectify women, where they will treat women as things to be won, like championship belts. It's not like that. It's another
Meri
human...
nahi teri bhabhi hai.
Yeah, exactly. They're human beings. That's what a lot of guys need to understand.
Like, I would totally be put off with a guy who treats a waiter badly.
Yeah. for
Driver,
sure.
valet, doorman, you know, who do like, hey, chal, you know, these people, like, I do this a lot. Like, I do a lot of fun around this with my friends. I'm like, all of that. But I would totally judge a guy who does not treat people like professionally designated lower than him or whatever.
Yeah. What I genuinely feel from my heart is that the world is full of like good people.
Yeah.
And this is a sign of being a bad person, where you don't respect not just women, but as you said, like waiters and drivers and things like that. So a lot of these good people in the world pick up on things like that. You're classified as a bad person in their heads.
Like, I would be instantly impressed if I went to a restaurant and bahar jate waqt, the guy with me just went like, thank you so much Dada, to the doorman.
I feel like even when we're talking about being sexy, things like etiquette, things like respecting people around you.
I think it's really sexy. Also fold your sleeves.
Yeah. guys think that being sexy is just about clothes, but there's
it's
so
not,
much
man.
more to
It's
this
not.
whole sexy and impressing girls game. Just take that game forward with the help of these 10 tricks we spoke about.
You're welcome.
So either way, guys, if you liked today's video, make sure you check out Prajakta's channel as well. She does a lot of similar content. I'm going to link it in the description. That is her Instagram handle. Make sure you give her a follow. And until next time, guys, from Prajakta and Ranveer, we will see you later.
Bye.